Hear me well. So yes, let's get into some things this morning. I have about 20 minutes. I wanted to talk to you all about just ways that you can find job roles that will, allow you to be abroad, to live abroad, and what the truth is around that. And I can speak from my own personal experience because I have been traveling, even with my children and everything, for the last 20 years. Um, and I always was able to find some kind of opportunity virtually that allowed me to be wherever I needed to be. Now, in 2026, finding these kind of roles has complications, you know, it has complications to it because a lot of companies, one, can't really hire you and stay, legal and legally sound. For instance, if you're American, you need to be in, at least if it's a remote role, you need to at least be in the 52 states. Okay, so you can find remote roles, but finding that remote role that lets you, take off to Thailand or move to Brazil or wherever you're trying to go is not easy, but it is doable. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how that's doable. For me, there you can take a chance. You can, try to find your remote role and tell them that you live in the States when you maybe necessarily don't necessarily live there. And that can work for a while if you're using a VPN. Usually that's a short-term solution. So if you were trying to figure out something you could do remotely, you would utilize some of the remote websites for looking for roles that are really good. I would suggest working with Simply Hired and Indeed together. That's one kind of combination. They work together. So you could go ahead and register on both of those sites and start looking there for remote roles. Just making sure that you do all the filtering for exactly what you need. They also have they have We Work Remotely is another one where you can find worldwide remote roles, because that's what you'll be looking for, are worldwide remote roles. Okay. They have another one right now that is getting popular called Hiring Cafe. And I found out about Hiring Cafe through Reddit, where I get a lot of great information on remote roles and hiring platforms. And Hiring Cafe is really thorough. They really vet the roles. They really, make sure they're not scammy. It's just a really great platform, especially if you have technical skills, some kind of tech background, something highly technical in that way. That's a good platform for you. Um, there are many. There are many platforms, but what you want to look for are truly remote roles, um, worldwide roles. Those are the kind of things that's going to help you to be able to kind of sort some kind of income stream that is hardy enough for you to go and live in other countries. Because let's face it, most other countries just are not as expensive as the United States is right now. And so for you to just go ahead and go abroad, um, to another country such as Vietnam or Thailand, you earning, even if you were working remotely for a company at part time, maybe you're only making $2,500 a month, you'll still be able to have a good quality of life, at least as a single person, somewhere like Southeast Asia, somewhere like, Brazil or whatever. Now, if you have a family, yeah, I mean, your income requirements are going to go up, up, up. But these are some of the things that you have to be looking at. So I suggest you get on those websites, you start to look on Reddit for truly remote and worldwide remote jobs and see what job boards come up. And then getting in with these roles, like I said, I have worked for companies. Now, I used to have websites and different things, and that was how I kind of made my living for many years, but I would also sprinkle in some kind of jobs. And so at one point, what was really popping was teaching, online. It's not like it used to be because, China at one time had a monopoly on that. And so those Chinese companies that were hiring a lot of Americans and people who spoke English, Native American English. They don't have the same capacity to hire in that way anymore. So while you still can get some teaching roles online on different job boards such as Dave's, ESL Cafe, and certain places online, it's not as much the same as it used to be. So now, if you are an educator and you want to teach, you need to do something like get your TEFL or your TESOL certification. So you go ahead and get those 150 hour certs, and then you can start applying for a lot of different teaching jobs online or platforms that allow you to market yourself as a teacher, like Preply. Okay, so like also tutoring platforms are good. So if you have a background, for instance, as an educator, you have a degree, even a certification, these are options for you, things that you could do where most countries would like you to come in and teach English if you have a certification. So that is a role that any educator can get pretty much anywhere in the world, and it's something to think about. Okay, is education. And I mean, ideally, most of us, since we have a mentality of being sovereign, of being separated from the effery of the U.S. and moving on with our lives in the world, ideally we would have the mentality of trying to be entrepreneurs, and really make it for ourselves on a real scale, because obviously jobs are very limiting. But the fact is, sometimes, business is good. Sometimes it might fall off. Sometimes maybe you are trying to figure out your online presence and offerings. There's a lot that you go through online trying to be an entrepreneur. I know, because I've been doing it for 20 something years, but very on and off. And it's been tough. So, with that being said, you definitely want to make sure that, you know what I mean, you can always tap in to some streams, because you've got to have money streams, especially when you're abroad. You can't run out and go get a job down at the YMCA or something. You know what I mean? You have got to have, good streams coming, or you got to have some other magic popping. You know what I mean? You need to be living in community, trading, farming, doing things like that, where your lifestyle is based in barter. It's not based online and chasing down money and all that. That's another way to go. That's the way I think we all should be going, hopefully. But for now, a lot of us are still in the system, still working, still trying to figure out how to get around these digital IDs and all this crap they got coming down the pipeline, so we can continue to make a living for our families, and it's just a lot to consider. But I would say to you, check out some of those websites, and go ahead and see what it looks like for you, because I think it's a good way to get started in the process of finding work and roles that will allow you to get the hell out of Dodge. Because at the end of the day, nowhere is safe, nowhere is perfect. But I think a lot of us know that just the quality of life in general in the U.S. is so diminished at this point that a lot of folks are just looking for brighter pastures, looking for somewhere to go where the day-to-day life doesn't feel so grueling, so overpriced, and also so kind of diminishing of your humanity. Because that's what I feel when I'm in the U.S. is that there's some very strong disconnects from nature and from humanity that I don't feel when I'm in other places. And I've lived in quite a few places. I've lived in quite a few places with my children. So something to think about, y'all. I'm gonna come up off of here because nobody's coming on. I'm not sure. Maybe my video title is not on point. But I hope you guys have a great day. Check out this video. Let me know what you think. If you need some support finding these roles, you need some coaching, job coaching, online remote job coaching, I definitely offer that. I'm going to put my links below. I have like a lot of offerings um, around women's wellness and jobs. It's hard when you do a lot of different things. And then for those of you that know, or don't know, we are offering tours down here in São Paulo, Brazil, and relocation support. So anybody who wants to move down here, or is looking to move in general with children and wants some coaching and consulting on that, we can help. Okay, we got that. I've been doing that for 20 years. Like, we can help families put their escape plan together. Okay, who just came on? I think someone was on, but then they left. So yeah, you guys enjoy your day.